The voicemail plays again while I sit in my car outside the Los Angeles County Courthouse. Tyler's voice, measured, careful, like he was reading from notes. "Becca, I know you won't listen to this, but I need to say it anyway. What happened wasn't your fault. You were sick. I should have done more, pushed harder, gotten your family involved sooner. I'm sorry I gave up. I hope wherever you are now, you're getting the help you need." He left this message 3 weeks after I burned down our apartment. 3 weeks after I nearly killed us both, trying to prove I didn't have a problem. Now I'm about to stand before a judge and explain why I deserve leniency for something I swore I'd never do. But Tyler was wrong. I didn't need help. I just needed him to stop trying to control me, stop monitoring my every move, stop acting like my occasional partying was some kind of disease. If he'd just trusted me, none of this would have happened. The courthouse security guard taps on my window. "Court starts in 15 minutes, miss." I know. I've been sitting here for an hour, replaying that voicemail, trying to figure out exactly when Tyler turned from my boyfriend into my enemy. When the man who was supposed to love me became obsessed with fixing something that, to me, wasn't broken. We met at a rooftop party in Silver Lake 2 years ago. I was 20, fresh out of my parents' house in Riverside, working at a boutique on Melrose, and finally living my real life. Tyler was 24, a sound engineer at a recording studio in Burbank, with steady hands and a gentle smile that made me feel seen. "You laugh like you mean it," he said, approaching me at the bar. "Most people here are just performing." I was drunk already, 4 drinks in and feeling invincible, but something about his observation made me pause. "Maybe I'm just a really good performer." "Maybe," he agreed, "but I don't think so." We talked until sunrise, sitting on the roof as Los Angeles woke up below us. He told me about mixing music, about finding the perfect balance between all the different tracks. I told him about my dreams of being a stylist, of dressing celebrities and seeing my work in magazines. "You'll do it," he said with such certainty. "You've got that hunger. I can see it." Nobody had ever believed in me like that before. My parents thought fashion was frivolous. My friends from high school were all stuck in Riverside, getting married and having babies. But Tyler saw something bigger in me. We were inseparable after that night. He'd pick me up after work and we'd drive through the hills, windows down, music loud, talking about everything and nothing. He introduced me to his industry friends, helped me network, pushed me to apply for better positions. "You're too talented for retail," he'd say. "You should be on sets, working with real stylists." Because of his encouragement, I got an internship with a celebrity stylist. Unpaid, but Tyler said that was how everyone started. He covered more of our dates, helped with my gas money, never made me feel bad about being broke. "We're a team," he said when I tried to protest. "Your success is my success." I moved into his apartment in Los Feliz after 6 months. A gorgeous place with exposed brick and big windows that caught the morning light. Tyler had lived there for 3 years, had made it beautiful in his careful, thoughtful way. Plants everywhere. Vintage furniture he'd collected from estate sales. A sound system worth more than my car. "This is your home now too," he said, clearing out half the closet for my things. "Change whatever you want." But I didn't want to change anything. I wanted to disappear into his perfect life, become the kind of girlfriend who deserved all this beauty and care. I wanted to be the person he saw when he looked at me. The partying wasn't new. I'd been drinking since high school, smoking weed since freshman year of college. But in Tyler's apartment, with his steady presence and early morning recording sessions, I tried to tone it down. Tried to be the sophisticated Los Angeles girlfriend instead of the messy valley girl who took shots until she blacked out. It worked for a while. We had dinner parties where I'd limit myself to wine. Industry events where I'd nurse one cocktail all night. Sunday mornings at the farmer's market, clear-headed and glowing, picking out flowers for our kitchen table. "I love our life," I told him one morning, arranging sunflowers in a vase he'd bought me. "I love who I am with you." "You're the same person," he said, kissing my forehead. "Just happier." But happiness is exhausting when you're pretending. And I was pretending all the time, pretending wine was enough when I wanted tequila, pretending I was tired when I was coming down, pretending the internship was fulfilling when I was really just steaming clothes and fetching coffee. The coke started at an after-party in West Hollywood, some music producer's house in the hills, the kind of place with a pool that glowed purple and a view that made you feel like you owned the city. Tyler had gone home early. He always went home early. And I stayed, telling him I was networking. "You sure you're okay getting home?" he'd asked, his hand on my lower back, protective as always. "I'm a big girl," I said, kissing him goodbye. "I'll Uber." But I didn't Uber home until 7 the next morning, pupils dilated and jaw clenched, fabricating a story about staying at my coworker's place because I'd had too much wine. "You could have called," Tyler said, making me breakfast I couldn't eat. I was worried. He still cracked the eggs like nothing had changed, like love could feed someone who didn't want to be saved. "My phone died," I lied, even though we both knew I carried a portable charger everywhere. He wanted to believe me, so he did. It was easier to trust me than to face the truth that I was already gone. That's how it started. Tyler always choosing trust over instinct, love over logic. The producer from that party became my dealer. Kai, his name was, though I doubt that was real. He lived in one of those glass houses in the bird streets and always had party girls around. Always had coke that was pure baby, the best you'll ever have. I started going there during the day when Tyler was at work. Just a bump to get through the internship. Just a line to feel confident at industry events. Just a little more to keep the party going. "You've been so energetic lately," Tyler noticed, watching me clean our apartment at midnight, reorganizing his records for the 3rd time that week. "Did you switch coffee brands?" "Just excited about life," I said, manic with powder courage. "Is that a crime?" That's when I started turning things around on him, making him feel guilty for noticing changes, paranoid for asking questions. It was so easy with someone who loved me, who wanted to trust me more than he wanted to protect himself. The first time Tyler noticed something was wrong was at his company's Grammy party. Open bar, beautiful people, the kind of event I'd dreamed about attending. I promised myself I'd be good, professional, make Tyler proud. 3 hours later, I was in the bathroom doing coke with a girl I'd just met, missing Tyler's big moment when his project won. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was what happened in the coat check room with the A&R guy who'd been buying me drinks. "Your boyfriend's talented," he said, pressing me against the wall. "But he seems a little straight-laced for a girl like you." I let him kiss me. Let him put his hands under my dress. Let him think he was showing me something Tyler couldn't. When I finally pushed him away, it wasn't out of guilt. It was because I heard them announcing Tyler's category. "Where were you?" Tyler asked in the car after, hurt clouding his face. "I looked for you everywhere." "There was a line for the bathroom," I said, checking my nose in the mirror, tasting another man's mouth. "I'm sorry, baby." "I'm so proud of you." He believed me because he wanted to. Because Tyler always chose to see the best in people, especially me. He even apologized for making a big deal about it, said the win had made him emotional. That's when I learned how easy it was, how simple to make him doubt his own instincts, to turn his concerns into apologies. Every time he got close to the truth, I just had to make him feel crazy for suspecting me. But it got harder to hide. Weekend trips to Vegas with my boutique coworkers that left me shaky and paranoid. After parties that turned into 3-day benders. Money disappearing from my account that I couldn't explain. Then from Tyler's wallet when mine ran dry. The Vegas trips were where things really escalated. My coworker Mina knew all the promoters, got us tables at clubs, introduced me to guys with yachts and private planes. I'd tell Tyler it was a girls' trip, that we were bonding, networking, building connections. "I trust you," he'd say, kissing me goodbye at LAX. "Have fun, but be safe." Safe was the last thing I was being. But I told myself it was freedom, because admitting it was self-destruction meant Tyler had been right. I was doing drugs I couldn't pronounce with men whose names I couldn't remember. Waking up in hotel rooms at the Wynn or Cosmo, sometimes alone, sometimes not, always confused about how I'd gotten there. One weekend, I didn't come home until Tuesday. Tyler had called the police, the hospitals, my parents. When I finally walked through our door, sunburnt and strung out, he just held me. "I thought you were dead," he whispered into my hair. "I thought I'd lost you." "My phone broke," I said, the lie so obvious it insulted us both. "And there were flight delays, and—" "Stop," he said gently. "Just stop. Tell me what's really going on." That's when I turned vicious. Accused him of being possessive, controlling, jealous, said he couldn't handle me having a life outside of him, that he wanted to keep me locked up in his boring apartment, living his boring life. "Is this about the drugs?" he asked quietly. "Because I've noticed—" "Noticed what?" "That I'm not some housewife, that I actually like to have fun." "Becca, your nose was bleeding at dinner last week. You fell asleep at your cousin's wedding. This isn't about fun anymore." "You're imagining things," I said coldly. "Maybe you need therapy for your paranoia." I watched him doubt himself. Watched him wonder if maybe he was seeing problems that weren't there. It was like poisoning someone slowly, drop by drop, until they couldn't trust their own senses. "Are you okay?" he started asking. "You seem different lately." "I'm fine," I'd snap. "Just stressed about work." "Maybe you should take a break," he suggested. "Focus on your health for a bit." That was the first time he mentioned my health. Like having fun was a sickness, like being 22 in Los Angeles without a trust fund wasn't stressful enough to warrant some chemical relief. The cheating got worse as the drugs got harder. There was the DJ from Sound nightclub who sold me Molly and got payment in other ways. The bartender from Chateau Marmont who did lines off my stomach in the staff bathroom. The photographer who shot me for his project that was really just an excuse to get me high and naked. Each time I'd come home to Tyler, shower off the evidence, crawl into bed beside him like nothing had happened. He'd pull me close, tell me he loved me, and I'd feel nothing but contempt for how easy he was to fool. "You smell different," he said once after I'd been with the photographer. "Like cigarettes and something else." "New perfume," I lied. "Don't you like it?" "I liked your old smell better," he said sadly. "Like vanilla and that shampoo you use. I started using more perfume, more mouthwash, more everything to cover what I was doing. But Tyler wasn't stupid. He was just in love. And there's a difference between not seeing and not wanting to see. I started hiding it better. Eye drops for the redness, makeup to cover the circles, breath mints and body spray, and careful timing. I became an expert at deception, at making Tyler think he was imagining things. One night he found texts on my phone. Nothing explicit, but enough to raise questions. Messages from numbers with no names, talking about meeting up, about having stuff, about last time being fucking incredible. "Who's this?" he asked, showing me my own phone like evidence. "Are you seriously going through my phone now?" I exploded. "This is insane, Tyler. You're acting like a psycho." "These messages, are from work people. Styling stuff. Not that I should have to explain myself to you. Styling stuff at 3 a.m.? Fashion never sleeps," I said sarcastically. "But clearly you don't understand my industry. You just want to make me feel bad for having a career." "Becca, I support your career, but this doesn't look like—" "Like what? Like what you think a girlfriend should be doing? Sorry I'm not home baking cookies and organizing your vinyl collection." I stormed out that night, went straight to Kai's house in the hills. Let him and his friends pass me around like a party favor, doing bumps off marble countertops and pretending this was freedom. When I came home the next afternoon, Tyler had made my favorite dinner, bought flowers, left an apology note for going through my phone. I threw the flowers in the trash while he watched. But bodies don't lie as well as mouths do. I lost weight, my hands shook. My nose bled at inconvenient times. I called in sick to the internship so often they decided to go in a different direction. I told Tyler I quit because they weren't teaching me anything. That's okay, he said, though I could see the worry in his eyes. You'll find something better. I didn't look for something better. I spent my days in our apartment, telling Tyler I was job hunting while really just maintaining the perfect balance of substances that made me feel normal. A little Coke to get going, some Xanax to smooth the edges, wine to transition into evening, Ambien to sleep. Becca, we need to talk, Tyler said one night, sitting on our bed with my stash in his hands, pills I'd hidden in a tampon box, Coke in a makeup compact, all laid out like evidence. What the hell were you doing going through my things? I exploded, trying to flip the script. I was looking for my watch. The one you said you'd take to get fixed. His voice was so calm, so sad. But I found it at the pawn shop down the street. Along with your grandmother's necklace and my camera. My mind raced for an excuse, a lie, anything to deflect. I was going to surprise you with an upgrade. That watch is old anyway. Becca, please, just stop. I know you've been selling our things. I know about the drugs. I know about other things too. Other things? I laughed, harsh and mocking. What other things, Tyler? What has your paranoid little brain invented now? The doorman told me you brought someone up last week. When I was in San Francisco? My heart hammered, but I kept my face cold. Yeah, my study group. Is that a crime? Your internship ended 2 months ago, Becca. What study group? The one for my new job, I lied smoothly. Which I start next week. Not that you bothered to ask. I found the condoms, he said quietly. We don't use condoms. For a second, I was speechless. Then the rage kicked in. How dare he catch me? How dare he make me feel guilty? Those are from before we met, I said. God, Tyler, you're really losing it, going through my things, making up stories, accusing me of, what, cheating, drug dealing? I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm looking at evidence and asking you to get help. Evidence? Evidence of what? That I'm not the perfect little girlfriend you want, that I have a past, that I have friends? Becca, this is serious. You need help. I need help. For what? Having a little fun? For not being boring? For the pills. For the Coke. For whatever else you're taking that's making you sick. For the lying, the stealing, the what? I challenged. Say it. Say what you think I'm doing. He couldn't. Even with evidence, even with every sign pointing to the truth, Tyler couldn't bring himself to call me what I was. An addict, a cheater, a liar. His love made him weak, and I used that weakness like a weapon. I'm not sick, I screamed. You're just controlling and paranoid and jealous that I have friends, that I have a life outside of your stupid apartment and your stupid plants. He flinched at each word but didn't break. I love you, and you're scaring me. Please, just talk to someone, a counselor, a doctor, anyone. You're crazy, I said, the words coming out cold and final. Actually crazy if you think I'm some kind of addict. I party sometimes. Everyone our age parties. Not like this, he said quietly. Not until they can't stop. I can stop whenever I want. Then stop. Fine, I'll stop. Happy? I lasted 3 days. 3 days of sweating and shaking and feeling like my skin was too tight. 3 days of Tyler bringing me water and soup and looking at me with such hope. 3 days before I snuck out while he was at work and scored from my dealer in Echo Park. When Tyler found me passed out in the bathroom, he called 911. I woke up in Cedars-Sinai with IV fluids and a social worker asking gentle questions about my substance use. This is insane, I told Tyler when he arrived. You had me committed? Like I'm some kind of crazy person? You overdosed, Becca. Your heart rate was... I didn't overdose. I just took a little too much. It happens. A little too much could kill you. Stop being so dramatic. God, you're worse than my parents. But Tyler wasn't being dramatic. He was being realistic. And reality was the last thing I wanted to deal with. I checked myself out against medical advice. Tyler drove me home in silence, the Los Angeles sun too bright through the windshield, the city too loud and sharp and real. "I made some calls," he said as we pulled into our building. "There's a place in Malibu, really nice, where you can get help. Insurance covers most of it. I'm not going to rehab. Then there's an outpatient program in Pasadena. You could live here, just go during the day." "I'm not going anywhere. There's nothing wrong with me. Becca, please. If you bring this up one more time, I'm leaving," I said. "I mean it, Tyler. Either accept me as I am or let me go." He was quiet for so long I thought he might actually choose the second option. Then, "Okay. But I can't watch you hurt yourself anymore. No drugs in the apartment. No using around me. Those are my boundaries." "Fine," I agreed, already planning how to hide it better. But Tyler had learned too. He started checking my eyes when I came home, noting when money went missing, asking specific questions about where I'd been. He wasn't controlling, he was scared, but I couldn't see the difference. "You're suffocating me," I said one night after he found the vodka bottle I'd hidden in the laundry detergent. "I'm trying to save your life. My life doesn't need saving. You're the one who needs help for your obsession with controlling me." We fought constantly. I accused him of being paranoid, manipulative, abusive. He responded with pamphlets about addiction, numbers for hotlines, pleas for me to get help. The more he pushed, the more I pulled away, the more I used to spite him. "This isn't love," I told him. "Love is accepting someone as they are." "I do accept you," he said, "but I won't enable you killing yourself." The night everything ended, I'd been on a 3-day bender. Tyler was in San Francisco for work, and I'd invited people over. Dealers, party friends, strangers from the internet. Our beautiful apartment became a drug den, ashtrays overflowing, bottles everywhere, his plants wilting from neglect. But it wasn't just a party. Kai was there with his crew, turning our living room into a trap house. Girls I didn't know were doing lines off Tyler's vintage coffee table. Some guy was definitely shooting up in our bathroom, and I was in our bedroom with 2 men whose names I'd already forgotten, so high I couldn't feel my face. Tyler came home a day early. I'll never forget his face when he walked in and saw what I'd done to our home. The shock, the hurt, the final breaking of hope. But worse was when he opened our bedroom door and saw me there, half-dressed with strangers in our bed. "Everyone out," he said quietly. "Now!" People scattered like roaches, leaving me alone with him in the wreckage. I tried to stand, to explain, but I was too high to form words. Mascara ran down my face. When had I started crying? "I'm done," he said, not looking at me. "I'll stay with my brother tonight." "I want you gone by the weekend." "You're kicking me out? This is my home too." "No," he said. "This was our home. You've made it clear you don't want our anything." Something in his tone, the finality, the exhaustion, made me snap. How dare he give up on me? How dare he prove that his love was conditional? "You think I'm crazy?" I screamed. "I'll show you crazy." I started breaking things. His records, the framed photos of us, the ceramic bowl his mother had made. Each crash felt like vindication. See what you made me do?" "Stop," Tyler said, trying to grab my wrists. "Becca, stop!" "You drove me to this," I screamed, "with your constant watching and judging and trying to control me. You made me like this." "I tried to help you," he said, and for the first time I saw tears in his eyes. "I loved you." "You loved who you wanted me to be," I spat, "not who I am." That's when I saw the candles. Birthday candles I'd bought months ago for a cake I'd never made. The lighter felt like it appeared in my hand before I even thought about it. "Becca, what are you doing?" "Showing you what crazy looks like," I said, my voice dangerously calm. "Since that's what you think I am." I don't remember the decision, just the action. My hand moved on its own, tipping a single flickering flame onto the arm of the couch. I only remember the whoosh as the fire caught the curtains, climbing the walls faster than seemed possible, and Tyler's arms pulling me back as the smoke began to choke us both. He coughed until his voice broke, dragging me through the hallway while I screamed at him to let go, still convinced he was the enemy. The fire department saved the building, but our apartment was destroyed. Everything Tyler had collected, built, loved, gone. Because I had to prove a point. Because I couldn't admit he was right. I was arrested that night. Arson, reckless endangerment, destruction of property. Tyler refused to press additional charges, told the police I was sick, needed help, not punishment. Even then, even after I'd literally burned down our life, he was trying to save me. But I wasn't grateful. I was furious. I told anyone who'd listened that he'd driven me to it, that his constant accusations and control had made me snap, that he was the crazy one, not me. My public defender didn't buy it. Neither did my parents, who finally saw what their daughter had become. Or my friends, who'd watched me spiral for months. Only I believed my story, clinging to it like the last pill in the bottle. Now, I'm about to face a judge, about to find out if I'll serve time for what I did. My lawyer says if I show remorse, acknowledge my addiction, agree to treatment, I might get probation. But that would mean admitting Tyler was right. Admitting I need help. Admitting I'm exactly what I swore I wasn't. I play his voicemail one more time. You were sick. I should have done more. He's still taking responsibility, still blaming himself for not saving me. After everything I did, everything I said, everything I destroyed, he still thinks he failed me. But Tyler didn't fail. He loved me. He fought for me. He tried to pull me back from the edge even as I spit in his face and called him crazy. He saw what I couldn't, that I was drowning and mistaking it for swimming. I get out of the car, legs shaky in heels I shouldn't have worn. The California sun is brutal, exposing everything I've tried to hide. In the harsh light, I can see myself clearly. 22 years old, facing felony charges, homeless, jobless, friendless. All because I couldn't admit I needed help. Tyler's rebuilding his life. My mother tells me he's in therapy, processing the trauma of loving an addict who wouldn't admit she was sick. He's dating someone new, someone stable, someone who doesn't confuse chaos with passion. He's healing from the burns I gave him, inside and out. And me? I'm about to walk into a courtroom and decide whether to keep lying or finally tell the truth, whether to maintain that everyone else was wrong, or admit that the person I called crazy was the only one who saw clearly. The courthouse doors are heavy, but not as heavy as the weight of my denial. 4 months since I proved Tyler wrong about everything, by proving him right about all of it. 4 months since I chose being right over being alive. He told me I needed help, I practiced saying to the mirror in the courthouse bathroom. And I called him crazy. The words taste like ash in my mouth, like smoke and regret and all the bridges I burned trying to prove I wasn't on fire. Time to face the judge. Time to decide if I'm finally ready to stop calling everyone else crazy and admit that the problem was always me. Tyler knew it. My parents knew it. Everyone knew it, but the person who needed to know it most. 4 months too late. But maybe not too late to save what's left of my life. Maybe not too late to become someone who deserves the love Tyler tried to give me. Someone who can admit they need help without calling the messenger crazy. The bailiff calls my name. I stand on unsteady legs and walk toward whatever comes next, Tyler's voicemail echoing in my ears. I hope wherever you are now, you're getting the help you need. Maybe the only help I ever needed was learning how to stop fighting the people who tried to love me. Me too, Tyler. Me too.